I'm Rebecca. Standing here, overlooking the chaos in the grand ballroom, I can't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. The room is in disarray, guests are fanning themselves in the sweltering heat, and the bride, Ashley, is having a meltdown. It's a far cry from the perfect wedding she had envisioned. It all started when I received a booking request for the Grand Ocean Ballroom at my luxury hotel, the Sapphire Bay. My events director, Lily, walked into my office with that look on her face, the one that says there's trouble brewing. She dropped a thick dossier on my desk and told me about the request. They wanted the platinum package, the reserve wine list, and to bring their own cake. I laughed and denied the outside food request. We have a world-class pastry chef, after all. But then, Lily mentioned the name of the company, Zenith Innovations LLC, and the names of the bride and groom, Ashley Thompson and Ethan Reed. The air in the room seemed to freeze. Ethan Reed, my ex-boyfriend. 5 years ago, our catering business partnership fell apart. He decided that our relationship and business were holding him back and ran off with a 23-year-old intern. He dissolved our LLC behind my back, leaving me with a mountain of debt while he took the client list and started his tech startup. I scanned the paperwork. The contact email was a generic one, and the planner was a third-party agency from Tampa. He didn't know I was the owner of the Sapphire Bay. I saw an opportunity. We were technically at capacity, but I could squeeze them in. The deposit was a hefty $150,000, non-refundable. And in the fine print of the venue rules, which I had written in a fit of anger and a bottle of red wine 3 years ago, there was a clause regarding misrepresentation of party identity. I decided to approve the booking. I sent them the most expensive welcome basket with truffle oil. Lily looked at me like I was crazy, but I knew what I was doing. I also asked Lily to put me down as the lead logistics consultant for the event, invisible to the guests. I wanted to be the puppet master, pulling the strings from the shadows. 2 weeks later, the happy couple arrived for the site walkthrough. I made sure I was nowhere near the front desk. Instead, I was in the grand ballroom, dressed in the standard hotel uniform, pretending to inspect the sconces. Ethan looked just the same, with that silver-touched hair and a sharp jawline, always on his phone. And Ashley, she was a typical Instagram influencer, all blonde hair and attitude. She was wearing sunglasses indoors in a windowless ballroom and complained that the room was smaller than it looked online. She was a nightmare, demanding changes to the setup, the floral arrangements, and even the silverware. She wanted to remove the salad fork because it looked cluttered. I stepped in, explaining that the silverware placement was standard for a 5-course service, but she hissed at me, telling me to mind my own business. Ethan just waved his hand dismissively, saying they were paying for the place. After they left, Lily was fuming. I hate them, she said. Can we charge them a jerk tax? I smiled and told her we were going to do better. I called my lawyer, Tom. I needed him to look into Zenith Innovations and double-check the venue exclusivity clauses, especially those related to morality and conduct. Tom warned me that I was playing a dangerous game, but I knew what I was doing. I found out that Ethan was using Zenith Innovations to pay for his personal wedding and disguise it as a corporate retreat for tax write-offs. It was tax fraud and a breach of our commercial use policy. But I didn't cancel the contract right away. I wanted Ethan to hang himself. I knew Ashley was going to mess up, and I was right. On the wedding day, the grand ballroom was transformed into a beautiful space, despite Ashley's personality. I was standing near the bar, watching the chaos unfold. Ashley nearly collided with Maria, our housekeeper, and then berated her for almost ruining her $20,000 dress. I saw red, but I held my tongue. Then, Ashley saw me eating a beef Wellington. She thought I was just a staff member who had gotten too comfortable. She snatched the plate from my hand and told me to eat in the kitchen. In that moment, I replayed the last 5 years in my head. The sleepless nights, the bankruptcy hearings, and the hard work I had put into building this hotel. I decided it was time to take action. I told Lily to initiate Protocol 0. I walked into the kitchen and ordered the chefs to stop. I told them the contract was void because of Ashley's abuse of staff and Ethan's fraudulent booking. Everyone was paid for the full shift plus a hazard bonus. I then took control of the building management system. I cut the gas lines to the ovens, called security to evict the guests, and turned up the temperature in the ballroom. It was like watching a slow-motion train wreck. As Ashley was giving a speech, she realized that the music wasn't playing, the waiters were gone, and the room was getting hotter. The guests started to complain, and the chaos ensued. I texted Lily to tell Ethan that the owner wanted to see him in the courtyard. When Ethan stormed into the courtyard, he was shocked to see me. "You own this?" he stammered. I crossed my arms and told him the truth. He tried to apologize, saying that Ashley was under a lot of pressure, but I wasn't buying it. I told him the event was over, and the police had been notified. He had 15 minutes to vacate the premises. Ashley then stormed into the courtyard, sweating and makeup running. When she found out I was the owner, she was furious. She started screaming about her rights and her contract, but I showed her the breach of contract. In the end, they were left on the curb, with no limo, no fanfare, just their luggage. The police were called, and they had to leave. A TikTok vlogger was filming the whole thing, and the video went viral. The next morning, I sat on my balcony, sipping my coffee and looking at the ocean. The internet was buzzing about the CEO's wedding fail and the boss hotel owner who took revenge. My marketing metrics were through the roof, and reservations for next season were up 400% overnight. I received a box from Ethan's office. It was the contract termination counter, signed, and a check for the damages to the carpet. There was also a note that said, "You made your point." I crumpled the note and tossed it in the trash. It wasn't about making a point. It was about justice. I thought about the young woman I used to be, the one who was heartbroken and in debt. I wished I could go back and tell her that one day, she would own a successful hotel and get her revenge. And now, as I look out at the ocean, I know that life has a way of working out. Ashley was right about one thing. Staff eat in the kitchen. But in my house, the kitchen is where the knives are, and I know how to use them.